Now at 11, Catholics around the globe in mourning following the death of Pope Francis, who passed away this morning at the age of 88. Glad you're with us on this Monday, everyone. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Nada Irampoya. Thank you so much for being with us on CBS 8. Known for his compassionate leadership, humility, and commitment to social justice, Pope Francis made a lasting impact on the church and the world.
His death marks the end of a transformative papacy that spanned nearly a decade. Tina Kraus has more on the Pope's life and legacy.
From his first words as Pope,
Fratelli e sorelle, buonasera.
Francis displayed a humble style that earned him the nickname the People's Pope, often wearing plain robes and living in a small apartment at the Vatican. Born in Argentina in 1936, Jorge Bergoglio became a priest in 1969 and Archbishop of Buenos Aires in 1998. He earned another nickname there, the Bishop of the Slums. He rode the bus, cooked his own meals, and preached in the poorest neighborhoods. The Pope's humility was visible during his visit to the U.S. in 2015. He rode in a small car and his Pope-mobile while getting around in Washington, D.C., New York, and Philadelphia.
In the land of the free, at the home of the brave.
The Holy Father made history when he addressed Congress and celebrated Mass with hundreds of thousands of people in Philadelphia. The Pope also brought a message to U.S. Catholics to take care of those less fortunate. On the final day of his trip, he met with victims of sex abuse. In 2019, Pope Francis expelled disgraced former U.S. Cardinal Theodore McCarrick after a Vatican investigation found him guilty of sexually abusing children. He was the most high-profile church figure to be defrocked in modern times.
We ask forgiveness for our sins.
The move came just weeks before nearly 200 senior church leaders met for a landmark Vatican summit to prevent clergy sex abuse.
Nei confronti dei bambini.
Despite the clergy abuse scandal, the Pope worked at making the church more welcoming. He launched a worldwide survey on contraception, premarital sex, and homosexuality. The Pope said gay people should not be marginalized and famously asked, "Who am I to judge?" Francis made history in 2023, leading the funeral of his predecessor, Pope Benedict XVI. That same year, he celebrated the first decade of his papacy with the release of his first podcast, or Popecast. In an historic interview with CBS's Nora O'Donnell in 2024, the Pope addressed criticisms of his efforts to revisit teachings and traditions of the Church.
One thing is to take tradition into account, to consider situations from the past. But quite another is to be closed up inside a dogmatic box.
Francis, who had part of his lung removed when he was younger, battled a number of health issues in his later years, including hospitalizations for bronchitis. Supporters will forever remember him as a revolutionary pope, crediting him with choosing service and kindness over the power of the papacy. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
President Trump has ordered flags at the White House to fly at half-staff in honor of Pope Francis. The order applies to all federal and state flags at public buildings and grounds at all embassies, consular offices, and other facilities abroad until the evening of the Pope's funeral.
And as Catholics all around the world mourn the death of Pope Francis, the impact of his loss being felt here in San Diego as well.
Local parishioners with faith leaders and even elected officials remembering the pontiff's legacy and what he meant to them. CBS 8's Regina Yarita has more on the reaction here from Barrio Logan. Regina.
That's right, guys. As the day moves forward, we're starting to see more people paying tribute. But I want to start by describing the mood, because it is a complete different shift to yesterday's Easter festivities. And just less than 24 hours from Pope Francis's last and final public appearance, we still noticed him waving and cheering at thousands of people who were noticing him from the balcony and who were standing at St. Peter's Square. But today, that silence is very strong, and many are mourning his loss. I want to start with Mayor Todd Gloria, who actually tweeted on X, writing, "San Diego joins the world in mourning the passing of Pope Francis, a humbled leader, a voice for progress, and a champion for the vulnerable around the world. His legacy of compassion and hope will live on. Rest in peace, Holy Father." The Jewish Federation of San Diego also putting out their statement saying they extend their condolences to the Catholic community over the death of Pope Francis, who was a friend to the Jewish community and across religious traditions. He repeatedly condemned anti-Semitism as a sin. We also noticed Governor Gavin Newsom sharing a statement saying, quote, Pope Francis led with his love of peace and creation and sought to protect and lift up the vulnerable. He championed human dignity, especially that of the poor, called the world to urgent climate action, condemned the death penalty, and confronted painful truths. So back out here, the Catholic Diocese of San Diego also extending their condolences on Facebook, saying that they're deeply saddened for his passing. They are expected to send out a more extended statement, so we're waiting on that, and we'll be sure to share it with you. But for now, that is the latest coming from Barrio Logan. I'll send it back to you.
Regina, thank you. Kevin Farrell, a high-ranking Vatican official, has stepped in as the acting head of the Vatican following the Pope's death. A period of 9 days of mourning is now underway, and the Pope's body will be displayed inside St. Peter's Basilica. The funeral is typically held 4 to 6 days after death and is presided over by the Dean of the College of Cardinals. He will then call for a conclave, which is the process by which Catholic cardinals select the next pope about 3 weeks from now. That process can last up to 13 days. The new pontiff will be installed less than a week after he is elected. And stay with CBS 8 for developments on the Pope's death. We'll have any updates posted on CBS8.com. You could also follow us on social media or download our free CBS 8 app.